Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, and Viksit Bharat at 2047 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Well-being. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are celebrating World Food Safety Day on 7 June every year. Unsafe food containing harmful bacteria, virus, parasites, or chemical substances causes more than 200 diseases. Recent estimates indicate that the impact of unsafe food costs low and middle income economies around US dollars 95 billion in lost productivity each year. Good hygiene practices in the food and agriculture sectors help to reduce the emergence and spread of foodborne diseases. Access to sufficient amounts of safe food is key to sustaining life and promoting good health. Foodborne illnesses are usually infectious or toxic in nature, often invisible to the plain eye, caused by bacteria, virus, parasites, or chemical substances entering the body through contaminated food or water. Food safety has a critical role in ensuring that food stays safe at every stage of the food chain, from production to harvest, processing, storage, distribution, and all the way to preparation and consumption. With an estimated 600 million cases of foodborne illness annually, unsafe food is threat to human health and economies disproportionately affecting vulnerable and marginalized people, especially women and children. Populations affected by conflict and migrants, an estimated 4,20,000 people around the world die every year after eating contaminated food, and children under 5 years of age carry 40% of the foodborne disease burden with 1,25,000 deaths every year. So, World Food Safety Day on 7 June aims to draw attention and inspire action to help prevent, detect, and manage foodborne risks, contributing to food security, human health, economic prosperity, agriculture, market access, tourism, and sustainable development. The World Health Organization and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, jointly facilitate the observance of World Food Safety Day in collaboration with member states and other relevant organizations. This day is an opportunity to strengthen efforts to ensure that the food we eat is safe, mainstream food safety in the public agenda, and reduce the burden of foodborne diseases globally. So, whether you grow, process, transport, store, distribute, sell, prepare, serve, or consume food, you have a role to play in keeping it safe. Take part in the celebration. For inspiration, check various case studies. Food safety is everyone's business. Under the slogan, Food Safety, Everyone's Business, the action oriented campaign promotes global food safety awareness and calls upon countries and decision makers, the private sector, civil society, UN organizations, and the general public to take action. The way in which food is produced, stored, handled, and consumed affects the safety of our food. Complying with global food standards, establishing effective regulatory food control systems, including emergency preparedness and response, providing access to clean water, applying good agriculture practices, terrestrial aquatic livestock, horticulture, strengthening the use of food safety management systems by food business operations, and build capacities of consumers to make healthy food choices are some ways in which governments, international organizations, scientists, the private sector, and the civil society work to ensure food safety. So, food safety is a shared responsibility between governments, producers, and consumers. Everybody has a role to play from farm to table to ensure the food we consume is safe and will not damage our health. Through World Food Safety Day, World Health Organization and FAO pursue efforts to mainstream food safety in the public agenda and reduce the burden of foodborne diseases globally. So, even though today's global food production is enough to feed everyone on the planet, hunger continues to increase in some parts of the world. Despite some recent progress in reducing hunger in Asia and Latin America, the world is still facing food crisis in many regions, especially in Africa, where the situation is dire. The toolkit was developed by FAO and World Health Organization to present information about the World Food Safety Day and to share ideas on how to take part in celebrations. Visuals and messages also available for use. When we look at the background of this day, the road to World Food Safety Day on 3rd August 2020, the World Health Assembly passed a resolution, WHA 73.5, to recognize World Food Safety Day as an important milestone and a platform for raising awareness at all levels about the importance of food safety and for promoting, facilitating action to prevent foodborne diseases at local, national, regional, and global levels to strengthen global efforts for food safety to reduce the burden of foodborne disease. On 20th December 2018, the United Nations General Assembly adopted Resolution 73 by 250, proclaiming a World Food Safety Day as of 2019. Every 7th June is a time to celebrate the myriad benefits of safe food. A proposal to establish World Food Safety Day went before the Second Committee of the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly. Following their October-November 2018 discussion, it was approved and went before the General Assembly for final adoption. Costa Rica announced their intention to bring a resolution to the Second Committee of the General Assembly during a meeting on sustainable development at the United Nations in New York on 12 July 2018. So the 40th session of the FAO conference in July 2017 adopted a resolution in support of World Food Safety Day, and the World Health Organization expressed their support in December 2017. The Codex Alimentarius Commission at its 39th session held in 2016 unanimously agreed to promote a proposal to proclaim the World Food Safety Day on a permanent basis within the framework of the United Nations. So keeping food safe is a complex process that starts on the farm and ends with the consumer. All stages of the food chain, from production, harvest, and storage to preparation and consumption, must be considered. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, is the only international organization overseeing food and safety, along with all aspects of the food chain. Through a long-standing partnership, FAO and World Health Organization support global food safety and protect consumer health. FAO addresses food safety issues along with the food chain during food production and processing, while World Health Organization typically oversees relationship with the public health sector, safeguarding food so that it is safe to eat doesn't stop with its purchase, though at home consumers have a part to play in making sure that what they eat remains safe. So food safety and sustainable development goals, there is a relation. Food safety is a key to achieving several sustainable development goals, and World Food Safety Day brings it into the spotlight to help prevent, detect, and manage foodborne risks. Safe food contributes to economic prosperity, boosting agriculture, market access, tourism, and sustainable development. Goal 2, there is no food security without food safety. Ending hunger is all about people having access to safe, nutritious, and sufficient food all around. Goal 3, food safety has a direct impact on people's health and nutritional intake. Foodborne diseases are preventable. Goal 12, when countries strengthen their regulatory, scientific, and technological capacities to ensure that food is safe and of the expected quality throughout the food chain, they move towards more sustainable patterns of food production and consumption. Goal 17, a globalized world with annual food exports currently in excess of US dollars 1.6 trillion, and the complex food systems demand international cooperation across sectors to ensure food is safe. Food safety is shared responsibility among governments, food industries, producers, and consumers. So, food safety saves lives. It's not only a crucial component to food security, but it also plays a vital role in reducing foodborne disease. Every year, 600 million people fall sick as a result of around 200 different types of foodborne illness. The burden of such illness falls most heavily on the poor and the young. In addition, foodborne illness is responsible for 4,20,000 preventable deaths every year. So, World Food Safety Day is an important way of making people aware of the food safety issues, demonstrating how to prevent illness through food safety, discussing collaborative approaches to improve food safety across sectors, promoting solutions and way of being more food safe. So, food safety, science in action is the theme for 2025. Everyone involved in the food supply chain, from production to processes, transporters, retailers, cooks, and consumers, relies on the universal application of good practices, agreed process, and standards to keep food safe. These all draw on the careful, clear, and thoughtful application of the best available scientific evidence that explores how and why food can become contaminated and make us sick. Scientists assess and analyze risks to human health associated with known, established, emerging, and anticipated food safety hazards, and they provide advice to help policymakers, food business, and consumers make safe choices. Without science, it would not be possible to maintain food safety, along with supply chains, which often span the globe across multiple borders. Science provides a fundamental basis for food safety. The World Food Safety Day, we are celebrating the important role the science plays in making informed decisions about food. As we have seen, the slogan for the World Food Safety Day, we have food supply chain involve several people, producers, processors, transporters, distributors, retailers, cooks, as well as consumers. At every point in the chain, there are hazards that can cause contamination. Everyone involved at various stages has a responsibility to keep food aside. There are 5 calls to action to World Food Safety Day. Ensure it's safe. Government must ensure safe and nutritious food for all. Grow it safe. Agriculture and food producers need to adopt good practices. Keep it safe. Business operators must make sure food is safe. Know what's safe. Consumers need to learn about safe and healthy food. Team up for food safety. Let's work together for safe food and good health. Today is also commemorated as International Clothesline Week, celebrated from first Saturday to June to the next all around the world. This year it takes place from June 7 to 14. It's a week-long celebration initially created to enlighten people about more sustainable living. Hills Clothesline, the famous clothesline producing company in Australia, was started by former World War II soldier Lancelot Leonard Hills. He wouldn't have thought of inventing the rotary hoist clothesline that would be globally sought after if his wife hadn't complained about washing falling off a washing line. This proves that challenges bring forth both opportunities and challenges. Is also commemorated as National Fishing and Boating Week from June 7 to 15, 2025. National Fishing and Boating Week is in the first full week of June, beginning on June 7th and ending on June 15th this year, and brings together all fishing and boating enthusiasts to learn about new spots and destinations to plan their trip in recent years. This week is used to raise awareness about satisfaction, about sustainable fishing, and keeping our recreational water spots clean. Spend this week long learning about our great rivers and lakes and how we can protect them. The US is blessed with countless lakes and rivers. These water sources allow locals to enjoy recreational activities like boating and fishing. Each year, hundreds of Americans indulge in these fun water activities. Apart from being a great form of outdoor activity, fishing and boating have a key role in building the national economy. The fishing and boating industry in the US provides hundreds of jobs to the locals and generates a great amount of revenue, which is used by the government to save the sea animals and their habitats. In the year 1950, the state was able to collect around $4 billion through its sport fish restoration program. The funds were used for fish production and to create awareness about the local fishing industry and the general public. This week was founded by former American President George W. Bush in 2002. The locals were encouraged to take part in the events organized by local communities for families to enjoy recreational activities like fishing and boating. Even before the government made it a national week in 2002, National Fishing and Boating Week was still celebrated as an unofficial fishing and boating holiday among the locals. Today, it is organized by the Recreational Boating and Fishing Foundation, RBFF. Professional anglers connect with aspiring anglers and enjoy catching fish at the lake. Ever since its inception, the main goal of the National Fishing and Boating Week has been to collect funds through arranging recreational activities for locals. The funds are used to protect the national waterways and support local fisheries. Today is also commemorated as Shampoo Week from 7 to 13. Every year from June 7 to June 13th as an international event that was created to raise awareness about good hair care. The history of what we now refer to as shampoo dates back less than a century. About the history of washing our hair dates back thousands of years, or for as long as we did had hair to wash. For National Shampoo Week, people are urged to learn the best ways to maintain their hair based on hair type. Shampoo, though chemical based, is not that economic, environment friendly. Had an interesting story from its inception to date. Customized versions that appeal to a variety of hair conditioner requirements. Today is also starting day of World Heart Rhythm Week, starting from June 7 to 13. which is observed annually, is a 7-day period during which international community raises awareness about arrhythmias and the importance of understanding our heart rates. Arrhythmias, also known as circadian arrhythmias, heart arrhythmias, or dysarrhythmias, are irregularities of the heartbeat which include conditions where the heartbeat is too fast or too slow. The term tachycardia is used to describe heartbeats that are too fast, above 100 beats per minute in adults, and bradycardia refers to a significantly slow heart rate below 60 beats per minute. Symptoms may include palpitations or a feeling of a pause between heartbeats. Certain types of arrhythmias have no symptoms. In more serious cases, lightheadedness, passing out, shortness of breath, chest pain, among others, may occur, while arrhythmia may not always be life-threatening. Some individuals have complications such as stroke or heart failure and sometimes death. Today is also commemorated as anniversary of the memorandum of the Slovak nation in Slovakia. The anniversary, which marks the proposal of the 1861 Slovakian memorandum and is annually observed on June 7. On this day, over a century ago, one of the most crucial moments in the political history of Slovakia occurred. The memorandum demanded a separate administrative area to be governed exclusively for and by Slovaks, where the citizens would use Slovak as official language of communication in all spheres of public life. So this was the foremost attempt at emancipation by Slovakian public. So the beginning of national movements in Slovakia dates back to 1840s when Slovakia was under the rule of monarch. The neo-absolutist regimes restricted political and public activity, which agitated the majority of the public leaders to start a movement to fight for their national rights. The situation was further fueled by complete indifference to the needs and interests of non-mega nations, which were part of the Hungarian Empire. Slovakia is one of those nations. This ignorance led to the birth of memorandum at the hands of Slovak National Assembly. The document laid out conditions and the basic legal political demands. However, the effort did not bear much fruit as the ruling party tried to suppress their voices by imposing a ban on their cultural association. Matica Slovenska and the Slovak Gymnasia, two of other institutes that had Slovak as a mode of instruction. With the downfall of these institutes, the Slovaks realized that they couldn't sit quietly any longer. The Slovak National Party in 1871 and they decided on attack of electoral passivity in 1884 to raise awareness and their voice against the electoral system and national policies, and that did not favor the Slovaks. So that tussle went on till late 1918 when Slovakia joined hands with the Czech Republic to become a common state. However, even this reunion led to a lot of regional clashes. It was only in 1992 that the Czechoslovak Federative Republic was dissolved, and in 1993, Slovakia became an independent, full-fledged nation. So today is also commemorated as dissolution of union between Norway and Sweden. The dissolution of union between Norway and Sweden is observed yearly on June 7, as the name implies. The day commemorates the separation of Norway and Sweden as unified kingdoms under a common monarch and common foreign policy. Norway's parliament, this starting, moved the motion for the dissolution. This resulted in Norway receiving what they have been always wanted, which was to govern themselves after years of being subject to Sweden's foreign policies, following the aftermath of war between both nations. The day is one of the remembrance of this achievement in their history, seeks to remind every Norwegian living locally or overseas about this. Today is also commemorated as International Supply Chain Professionals Day on June 7th in US, which is an initiative that celebrates all the workers who make the supply chain possible. This day goes far beyond truck drivers and container ship campaigns. It includes everyone from warehouse workers to inventory and transportation planners, export managers, road planners, and so many more. The professionals who get our favorite products from point A to point B wear many different hats and all play a crucial role in supply chain success. Whether they are working behind a desk or the wheel of delivery van, as we continue to confront global disruptions in the form of natural disasters, geopolitical conflict, and more, professionals throughout the supply chain are left to adapt, to command their resilience, and show appreciation. Supply chain management software company E2Open is celebrating International Supply Chain Professionals Day. Also commemorated as International Tabletop Day on June 7th. On the first Saturday in June, gamers unite for International Tabletop Day, which lands on June 7th this year. We are excited to go all in for our favorite games. Tabletop games have been played for years Yeah, sorry, there was some technical issue. Today, we are also commemorating June Bug Day on June 7th, which is observed on June 7th every year as part of Philophaga genus, our most invisible month. They sprung up the ground searching for food and mate at this time of year. They spend up 3 years in the ground as larvae. Adults are about an inch or shorter. With a hard brown or black casing and wings, they hide in trees during the day, but at dusk they swarm and are attracted to light. It is also when they are actively feeding on trees and bushes. So June bugs are a type of beetle and they exist in quite a wide variety. The word June bug refers to any of about 100 species of beetles in family of scarabs. They are of the genus Philophaga and the order of Calopetra. Another common name for the June bug is either June beetle or May beetle. The common June bug measures about 1/2 and the 5/8 of an inch, and its color is reddish brown. As with every other beetle, it has also shiny wing covers, which are called elytra. June bugs can cause damage to garden, loss, and pastures, but can generally be controlled with prescribed pesticides. June bugs are regarded as chaffers because they feed on vegetation, particularly leaves. The diet of a June bug can further comprise grass, flowers, fruit, and food crops such as grains. They are also known to consume decaying organic matter as part of their diet. It is leaf eating characteristic that is responsible for their scientific name, Philophaga, which is Greek expression for leaf eater. June bugs are nocturnal, meaning that they are typically most active and after nightfall and before dawn. They usually feed from dusk through the evening to avoid predators. June bugs are also so called because with their adults emerge from the soil at the end of the spring or the beginning of the summer, which is in June. The females bury their eggs just below the surface of the soil. June bugs larvae typically hatch within 3 to 4 weeks and then feed on the grass and plant roots from their formative months and for as long as 3 years. In spring and early summer, the larvae grow into pupae and mature into adults in a space of 3 weeks. Adult June bugs are generally harmless, but their attraction to the light makes them a nuisance to humans. Every light from inside the horn can attract June bugs in large numbers. The sound of the June bugs bumping and buzzing against window screens is closely associated with summer in many parts of the United States. Scientists and researchers are yet to come with an explanation for this particular behavior, and although several hypotheses have been advanced, no single theory can account for any reason for which different nocturnal insect species gravitate towards sources of illumination. Today is also commemorated as Love Island Day in US. For viewers of ITV2 iconic show Love Island, the time between the end of the series and the start of the next is packed with countdowns and excitement. When the new season begins, it's now known as Love Island Day, a day of celebration since the countdown timers are over and the season of excitement can start again. Love Island is the most watched show on ITV2 and among the most highly regarded reality TV shows right now. As a result, it's not surprising that fans want a whole day dedicated to the TV series and its annual return at the beginning of June. Love Island is a reality dating show that premiered in the United Kingdom in 2005 as Celebrities Island in 2015 that started a series of other shows. Today is also commemorated as National Black Bear Day in US. It is a very good day to celebrate National Black Bear Day on June 7th this year, which has been observed every year on the first Saturday in June for the sole purpose of teaching people about the black ears and dispelling the myths surrounding them. This was the last one we promised, just bear with us. So bears inhabited practically every continent when humans first made their way to North America, the grizzlies actually thrived in all western states from Mexico to the tip of Alaska. The smaller black bear, a relative to the grizzly, was living in the places as far ranging as Atlantic and Pacific in North America, and Mexico to the northern edge of the continent. Since the black bear was a valuable source of thick hides for clothing and shelter, rich meat and sweet fat for the Native Americans, we all can see why they valued it and passed on the stories of these bears through their oral folktales. The European settlers brought with them their fear of the wild and animals that lived in it. These bears posed a threat of life, livestock, and crops so that they began killing them. So their fear made its way into popular children's books at the time, which showed bears attacking hunters alongside other predators preying on their cattle. As is common with a human presence, forest land was wiped out to make space for open farmland, and the bears began losing their homes. The more the population expanded, the more black bears were killed for safety, food, and other purposes. Because they reproduce much slower than other mammals, the black bear population began to dwindle. However, restoration programs and recovery of forest and saw their numbers go up again, with some states like New Jersey, Maryland reporting a five-fold increase. While these bears have not been able to reclaim their entire territory across North America, there is a still good number of black bears in the wild. In fact, they are listed as the least endangered species by the International Union for Conservation of Nature due to their large population. While the bear population is expanding, so is the population to the extent that two are coexisting in many areas. The North Carolina Black Bear Festival founded National Black Bear Day to celebrate America's black bear while trying to raise awareness about this animal and dispel all the myths and fears surrounding it. Today is also commemorated as National Bubbly Day in US. Let the good times roll and enjoy a sparkling drink in the honor of National Buddy, which is celebrated each year on the first Saturday in June. Founded by America's leading cava brand, FlexiNet, this day represents not only the sparkling wine company famous for, but also happy, effervescent feeling that this month, Akasambar, brings to everyone. Today is also commemorated as National Chocolate Ice Cream Day in US. Here's a little chocolatey morsel of info for National Chocolate Ice Cream Day. Chocolate ice cream key was actually invented before vanilla. You heard right. The earliest ice cream flavors were modeled after drinks, so chocolate naturally came before vanilla because hot chocolate was very popular in the 17th century Europe. In fact, the first frozen chocolate recipe was published in 1692 Naples in the book The Modern Steward, and much later chocolate ice cream was found in its way to US. This day falls on June 7th to help us channel our inner Willy Wonka and pay tribute to the decadent frosty tea. Today is also commemorated as National Prairie Day in US. National Prairie Day on June 7th this year celebrates the beauty and ecological value of this often overlooked ecosystem. Spanning more than a dozen American states and several Canadian provinces, the North American prairie is a vast grassland that offers more biodiversity and beauty than most people realize. Within their endless, gently rolling plants and highly productive soils, prairies have been a valued location for farming and ranching for thousands of years. Today, only 1% of tall grass prairie in the United States remains untouched by farming or development. National Prairie Day promotes the appreciation and conservation of America's native prairies. Today is also commemorated as National VCR Day in US. We take a trip down memory lane by celebrating National VCR Day on June 7th. Though thousands of movies are available today on platforms like Netflix, there was a time when simply watching a film was a special occasion. This included purchasing or renting a VHS tape from the video store. And no, these were not available at a cheap cost, since a lot of thought and effort went into viewing a flick. So I don't just you miss out those times of novelty viewing. Fret not, now is the perfect opportunity to relive the past. The video cassette recorder, VCR, is one of the most famous innovations in the history of technology. This is because there was a time when nearly every household in the US owned a VCR. The first device was created in Nobusuke in 1953, but the technology didn't hit the market till 1956. In 1970, the innovation was launched for homes. Today is also commemorated as the Big Launch in UK. The Big Launch is celebrated over the first weekend of June every year. This year it takes place from June 7 to 8. Since its inception, it has been early looked forward to the UK. Who else would anticipate a day where neighbors and communities coverage in the designated places to chat, eat, laugh, dance, and sing, generally enjoy? This is an event that created millions of lasting connections across the UK, and this year's celebration is going to be a memorable one, and it is scheduled to take place during Her Majesty Platinum Jubilee. Today is also commemorated as World Caring Day, which is on June 7th, is an opportunity for everyone to practice caring, which is needed now more than ever. The day encourages everyone to appreciate those who care and to care them just as much. By sincerely asking how someone's day went, it shows that you care and can improve the person's overall well-being. And in today's competitive world, having someone who genuinely cares is a blessing. All acts of caring, big or small, are important. However, it is in times of upheaval when caring matters the most. For instance, when someone is facing health issues or a certain medical condition, that's when your support and care can really matters a difference. Your loved ones should know that they're not alone on this journey. World Caring Day was inspired by an event in 1997 when the 9th day of a live baby named Bread, after the realization that there should be a better way to keep friends and family updated on the baby's health. A website was created on June 7, 1997, with friends and family able to coordinate online. It allowed them to provide necessities and comfort to Brigid and her family. This was quite revolutionary considering there were prominent social media platforms in existence at that time. The simple act of caring triggered a domino effect, resulting in a global network dedicated to connecting family and friends with their loved ones during a health journey and helping them to provide care, comfort, and unwavering support. In 2022, the idea to celebrate the first ever World Caring Day was initiated. On this day, everyone is invited to inspire others through stories of hope and care and to recognize, thank, and celebrate those who go to extra mile to show their care. This week is also commemorated as British Heart Week from June 7 to 15 in UK, which is observed. The reason for this observation is to spread awareness about heart disease and help people get the right treatment. The British Heart Foundation is UK's heart charity that founded the British Heart Week. Heart diseases are one of the country's leading diseases that is responsible for every 1 in 4 deaths. The week-long observation is also a tribute to the medical professionals for their continuous research of the heart. In 1961, heart diseases were the reason for more than half, 51% of the total deaths in UK, and this is what led a group of professionals to establish the British Heart Foundation, the backbone of the British Heart Week in the same year. The foundation aimed to fund resources for the research, treatment, and prevention of heart-related ailments. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. So thank you everyone for joining us on this wonderful occasion. So we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been shared in the form of polls. So see you all tomorrow at the same time. Take care. Good night.